Hello, everyone. I am Tyra Omilade, your goddess guru, your sister friend, and you know I love helping women align with their life purpose using the power of ancient wisdom and the goddess centered lifestyle. How are you today? Happy June. Oh my goodness. Wow, we are at June 2024. How are you doing? Welcome to all of the new ladies who are here. Welcome to all of the ladies who typically join me. Hello to all of the G Hive. G is for Goddess Hive, G Hive. So, yeah, glad to see you all. I've been a little bit off center, out of pocket. There was a death in my family. My uncle, he was married to my mom's sister, but he's my uncle and he passed. And so it kind of has thrown me off my going live schedule. And so today I was like, I got to get on and make sure I share the monthly wisdom for June. So that's what I'm going to do along with a reading. Again, if any of you all are new here, welcome. And again, I'm a spiritual guide, I'm a coach. I am one of my superpowers is divination, and astrology is a part of that. And I like all things goddess. All right. I just love connecting to the great mother and just sharing wisdom and and just helping women to connect to the goddess without and within. So that's what I'm about here. If that sounds good to you, keep watching, okay? Stay a part of the community. So, okay. So, what I'm going to start off with is the astrology. And it's not a super complex month. But, let's see here. I wanna just go back for a minute. We already have Pluto in retrograde, okay? So this is the time of the year where the outer planets start going retrograde. So we'll see another outer planet go retrograde, but it's really just kind of like business as usual type of month. Uh, yeah, May was the last, like, big energy type of month. And, now it's kind of like we need to buckle down into all things Gemini. Gemini is now a very, very important sign because Jupiter has moved into Gemini. And when we starting this month out, it's just like so much energy in Gemini. So the sun is there, Venus is there. And as you can see, Mercury is one of the first transits that we see here moving into Gemini. So I'm just doing an overview of the month. The the more the longer transits is what I'm looking at. And then each week I'll go through. So I'll probably touch on the first week of June also. So yeah, Mercury in Gemini. Wow. That's a really good placement for Mercury. I made a video and I'll make sure I link it here in this video as to what Gemini will mean for you based on your signs. It could be your sun, your moon, and your ascendant. But what I love about Mercury being in Gemini is we now have four planets as of the 3rd of June. We'll have four planets in Gemini. And so when we have that new moon in Gemini, it is going to be definitely another manifesting new moon. And I love Gemini because it's a sign that can allow you to use skills, you can learn, you can connect, you can work on your mental health, you can do business and, social media, those kinds of things. Like, wow, it will be you can get a lot done with Gemini. Let me put it that way. So, yeah, we're definitely in this energy of Gemini, and it's what we call a stellium. I'll show you a picture of what it looks like. Let's see here. This one is the new moon. So you can see down here, well, we have Jupiter, Mercury, the sun, moon, and Venus all there on the day of the new moon. Wow. I remember I want you to go back to 2021, maybe top part of 2022. There was something new that kicked off, or if you kind of look back at that time in your life and what was being highlighted for you. because now that more than likely there's something new on the horizon that is underneath that theme. Okay. So Gemini is all about movement. I've given you some other things, communication, such as writing, teaching, and learning. You can network like, wow. And it's definitely the one caveat I have about Gemini for this month is there's so much energy in Gemini until all the planets start going over into Cancer right at the solstice. So we'll have to work to really calm our minds down. So walking, I think, is key for this month, at least through the 20th. Walking is key. Um, yeah, I'm gonna say through the 20th. Walking is key. It'll help the nervous system. Anything that you can do to calm your nervous system, because it's just so much mental energy. Lots of internal chatter, lots of talking to other people. It's a very, very busy, busy, busy month. Okay. You might have to do extra traveling. There may be just so many emails, so many phone calls to return, so many reasons why people want to talk to you. Okay. You can also be focusing on your relationships that are peers, like siblings, cousins, friends, neighbors. You want to perhaps recognize that something new will come up around that, or there'll be an emphasis and a focus on it. Um, Now, I also say Mercury and Gemini, they're about ideas and small bite sized pieces. Okay. So it could be small bite sized ideas, bite sized information. Now, let me just pause it right there and talk about information. The other thing that I notice about this month is even if we're not including the moon being there, until like for half the month, we're going to have planets in several planets in Gemini. We're going to have Jupiter, Mercury, the Sun, and Venus all there in Gemini. And then we have Saturn in Pisces. All right. So that's 5 planets in what we call the mutable signs. And so mutability means things are changing. Okay. And I think that it will be a time where we have to be careful to not be duped. This is the time where we might get duped. So we really want to make sure that we um, check and triple check. It's a lot of scammy stuff, that could be happening. This might be a time where we hear people getting hacked more. So, because I'm telling you this, you need to go change your passwords. You need to go on ahead and just shore up your security when it comes to online stuff. It could be someone is like, hey, I want to sell you this, or they try to trick you into giving them your information. Um, for your banking. This is definitely a mutable sign. You might even be out and about and you'll find that, it's kind of like people are just trying to scam you. And so when we have that high mutability, you just have to really stay on your P's and Q's because, wow, it can be really, things may not be as they seem. And because Mercury is about information, my um, my prediction is disinformation will be at a all-time high, at least until those planets move out of, Gemini, but see, Jupiter is there, and yeah, um, Jupiter in Gemini, and then we have Saturn in Pisces. This is very mutable. It's just something that we'll be dealing with for the rest of the year. This energy of something isn't as it may seem, or it's like things are in flux. I think disinformation and gossip can be at an all-time high. And yeah, I just say, we need to really tap into Mm, wow, there's not a lot of energy that grounds us. I mean, Mars is gonna move into Taurus, so that might bring a little grounding, but it's kind of like, yeah, conspiracy theories, I think, will be at an all-time high. What I was gonna say is, you know, there should be something that grounds us, that allows us to check and triple check. I was gonna say, Pluto and Aquarius is really sort of sciencey, but Aquarius, by the same token, is like the sign of conspiracy theories. And so, I just encourage everybody to be cautious of, like, just check and triple check everything that you read, see, that's told to you. Gemini is fun, so I do like that for us. It's very, very fun. It's very mental, so we may not be super emotional while planets are there. And then once Mercury and Venus and then the Sun move into Cancer, right at the end of the month, we'll feel a little bit more emotional, but we'll be intuitive also. We'll be emotional and intuitive. So the new moon, I'm going to just do a separate video about that. But, I've pretty much given you some themes that you can think about. What do you set new moon intentions around? So that would be any of the topics that I brought up for Gemini. But what specifically does that mean for you, your sign? Look at the video that I linked to this video that's about once all these planets move into Gemini, what does it mean for each sign? And you want to set some new moon intentions. We're starting the moon out in the waning phase. And so it's kind of like what needs to be released, what needs to be let go of, and preparing yourself, maybe even getting a little extra rest for this new moon on June 6th. Okay. So then we're going to have Mars move into Taurus on the 9th. And I love Mars in Taurus because I have my Mars in Taurus. Mars in Taurus, it definitely creates this energy of being deliberate and methodical, but it's going to balance out this energy in Gemini, because it's this earth energy. Gemini is air and just in the head, and then Taurus is in the body. So we'll have both Mars and Uranus in Taurus. And with them being in Taurus, you can keep moving because Gemini's move, 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 go, 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 go. Um, and Mars and Uranus in Taurus is enough to make us feel like, okay, I know Taurus is slow and methodical, but both of these planets are about take a step, go, go, go. But it's more deliberate and slow. So that'll bring a little bit of balance to all of this mental energy that Gemini is bringing. And what is Mars? It's action, focus and action. So, what are you going to do around Taurus things? So, what is Taurus? Money, self worth, value. It's about your material possessions, maybe even storing your material possessions. It's about food. Specifically, what kind of food are you eating? What's your diet? And, focusing on that. And then Taurus is also about self care. So you may be called to have more self care when Mars moves into Taurus. And let's see here. There was one more I wanted to say. Um, Self-care, self-worth, history, collections. I really do wonder, have more people started collecting something? It could be antiques or you're just a collector of. So for instance, I'm a collector of books that are written by African Americans or just Black people, but especially African Americans, because a lot of them I know personally, and they have a book and I buy it and it just goes in my African American library. So I collect African American books of all sorts. Um, so it could be some focus. Okay, it's passion. So it could be you're passionate about, you know, something, it's a collecting or something. Taurus is the earth, so it could be, you're passionate or focused on the earth. Now, it's a very healing sign, so it could be that time where you get focused and start taking action around healing yourself, but it would be with something like with natural remedies or going outside, something like that, being in nature. So, yeah, that's the 9th of June. So, once we get to the 8th of June, this is where things get a little spicy. And this is because most of those planets are squaring Saturn. Um, we have a lot of planets down here in Gemini, and they're interacting with Saturn. Okay. So it creates a lot of what we call square energy, 90-degree energy. That's the same energy as Mars. So it brings this energy of activation. And because so much of it is with initially Saturn, oh, I forgot about Neptune is there also. Oh my goodness. Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, this again emphasizes the importance of making sure you check and triple check. If it doesn't sound right, it probably isn't right. Don't let somebody scam you. Another thing is things can get lost um when we have this much mutable energy, okay? And then once we start getting down into like June 16th, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, even though men don't watch my channel. Um, but we start seeing Venus, Mercury, and the Sun square Neptune. Woo! So I'm gonna say June 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th. I'm just gonna say June 15th to June 21st or June 20th. We'll just say June 20th. That is a time to really be deliberate, slow down, be intentional, be aware. Okay. But a square brings action. It brings like you're kicking it into gear. And with Saturn, when we start kicking into gear with Saturn, then that means that Saturn is like, hey, get this done. Where's the plan? Let's, follow the plan. All right. Um, and it feels a little bit harsh. So it's kind of like this stern voice might be like, hey, you get into action right away. All right. Could be something in a relationship, could be something regarding career. Mercury square Saturn. It could be really serious thinking, thinking, maybe like a hard conversation. It could be something like that. And then we also have Mars square Pluto. You're going to feel that for sure starting on the 9th. And I mean, easily, you'll feel that till about June 13th, June 9th to about June 13th, Mars square Pluto. I'm going to be honest with you. That's a day or that's a little time period right there where we could see things in the news that look really rough. It could be, there's going to be definitely something happening in Mother Nature. And I know it probably just sounds kind of cliche, like something's always happening, but it seems like sometimes the news is a little bit worse than other days when it comes to, natural disasters happening. Um, I hate to say this, but I just want to be real and 100. That's the kind of energy where we could see, and I just can't stand this about this country, where we could see, you know, an act take place in a huge group where people use a weapon and someone gets hurt. All right. So I pray that's not it. I will say it also could be there's some type of protests that are happening. People are fighting for their rights. People are protesting. People are rebelling. So that's a little bit of a challenging time right there. Okay. Now on the 14th of June, okay, I'm gonna keep going because I'm giving a little bit too much detail. I'm supposed to talk about that as I go. So anywho, yeah, from about the 7th to the 20th, easy. Those are sort of challenging times. sort of challenging times, okay? But it's a lot of action, and I think you could get a lot done with this, even if it's done out of frustration. It could be a time where it feels very, very frustrating. So then once we get to June 17th, let me just make sure. Yeah. When we get to June 17th, Venus and Mercury both move into Cancer, and they're going to meet. So in a way, it's a little bit of an important transit for me to go back here to the sun meeting Mercury. It's conjunct meeting. And so on the 14th, the sun meets with Mercury. And when we see this meeting, it's a new beginning. And it's like maybe we're going to get some new, fresh ideas that come to us. And then Mercury and Venus, it could be some new, fresh ideas. It could be highly creative. It could be something about how do you actually manifest this thing? And something about relationships. Mercury and Venus are both sign or planets that are connected to social, being social. And so it's like kicking off this new time of being social, perhaps with family, okay? Perhaps with family. But it is this energy of new beginnings. Cancer is a new beginning. It's a new season. It's the summer. Well, we're getting closer to that on the 20th. So it's like this I want to say sort of like triple new beginning energy is how I'll describe it. And it's like, yeah, you want to just really infuse your life with that freshness. And Cancer also brings this intuition. So it could be something comes to you, you get just this deep intuitive hit. It's like, wow, this is amazing. Okay. Now, the other thing that I love about Cancer is it makes us a little bit like, woo child, I need a break. So this might be a time where you want to just take a little bit of a break. The sun moves there on the 20th. Happy solstice. Most of y'all are in the northern hemisphere, so happy summer solstice. But hello to the those who are at the what is this called? Summer solstice. Oh, it could be, is it winter for y'all down there? And down in the other hemisphere? So yeah, we'll say, is that Yule? My bone? What is this for y'all? I need to learn that. Anywho, so the sun moves into Cancer, and right away we get the full moon in Capricorn. And so the full moon in Capricorn is happening on the 21st. It's going to happen at about a little after 9 o'clock at night. So what I noticed about this particular moon is the last three moons, the Sag full moon, the Gemini new moon, and now this Capricorn full moon. It's a lot of planets in one sign. Mercury, the sun, and Venus, they're not always together like this, but right now they're really close together. And so it's just like a lot of energy of being focused on something. That's what, when we see a lot of planets in one sign, it makes us get very, very focused on that particular area of life. But this is a Capricorn moon. Capricorn is going to be like, hey, what is it that you what is it that you've been working on? And it's very karmic. And so it could be you're meeting karma during that full moon. It could be that you're recognizing success. It could be that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not achieving the success that I want. And that gets highlighted for you in some way. Maybe you get some type of a solution, some type of support. Um, yeah, you might even just kind of get a little bit of motivation at that full moon to work on whatever it is that you're working to achieve. It's kind of a simple moon, just like the Sag moon. It was pretty simple. It's kind of straightforward. So I do like that. But I'll talk more about it as I get closer to it. All right. So, now we're in Cancer season. We want to go hang out at the beach. We want to relax. We're being super intuitive. We want to eat because Cancer is a sign that has to do with food. Um, family is everything, focusing on the home. Yeah, it's a really nice time. Okay, so let's see here. And so as we end the month, it's actually kind of nice. I'm like, wow. We go through all those rough times, about week and a half, and then it kind of starts getting a little bit nice for us. Okay. So last little bit is Saturn retrograde. So we'll start feeling that Saturn retrograde. Wow. I mean, we may even feel it back as far as the 22nd of June. And when Saturn goes retrograde, the time to really focus on um, the retrograde of an outer planet is right when it is going retrograde and then when it's going direct. So the energy of Saturn is like that Capricorn full moon. It's gonna feel like, whoa, this thing it's like double that kind of energy. Double, let's see here. We're getting ready to take stock to see, what am I gonna dole out to you? Saturn, Saturn doles out consequences, but it's all based on what you did, all based on your actions, right? And it's like all working for our good. So even though it sounds a little harsh, Saturn is like, I just want you to be the best. Okay, so I think that's all that I have for the astrology for June. Okay, so let's go on ahead and do the oracle reading for this month. I'm going to start off with my mythical goddess tarot deck. And the first card I pulled, very interestingly, is it's one of the earth cards. It's called Nurturance. So what this card is saying is this is the month where we need to really kick in the nurturance. And it's interesting because I pulled Kuan Yin also. And so there's this energy of, I see this month, to be honest with you, as being actually a little masculine. So maybe we need to make sure that we take care of ourselves this month. And the other thing that I'll tell you is, Kuan Yin is about using your intuition and operating from a more feminine place instead of from our masculine. Let me just see, is there anything else I can say about either one of these? So, oh, also, this nurturance card is about getting out into earth, respecting yourself, respecting life. Yeah, just really connecting with nature. It says, continue to let your heart be filled with love for yourself and others, nurturing your budding creations into beautiful, right manifestation in the world. So maybe this is a month where there's a lot of nurturance going on. When we get to that Capricorn full moon, it might be sort of like, we see your progress. We see your progress. Okay. And the Empress card, um, let's see, is there anything else that I want to say? I'll just read what it says. It says, uh, beautiful Kuan Yin gently yet powerfully invites you to open the pure stream of love and compassion that is always available. I love that. Compassion. This is definitely an energy that has to do with being compassionate. And so I just encourage you to offer compassion to yourself. The more you offer compassion to yourself, it's easier to offer compassion to others. Her invitation is to yield your heart fully that you may receive her full blessing in return, and in return bless others. The beauty of her soft, pervasive essence reminds you that sometimes passive power is called for, and to offer mercy and gentleness to those in your life. Wow. She exemplifies the feminine principle and the effectiveness of subtle power. So during those weeks or those days, the 7th through about the 20th, where I said it'll be a little bit rough, those would be days to really connect with this energy of Kuan Yin. I like what it said, extend grace to yourself and to others. So the next card that I pulled, or the next deck that I pulled from, is my African Goddess Rising deck. Interestingly, I pulled two cards. One says Soul Forgiveness. This is Mbokumu. And the other one is Queen of Sheba, secrets revealed. I believe some secrets can be revealed this month, baby. This is some gossipy energy. Okay. So let's see here. I'm going to start with Soul Forgiveness. That was the first card that I pulled. And she says, who do you need to forgive? Let it go and reclaim yourself. Forgiveness is a gift of freedom for you from you. Okay. I forgive and free myself. I forgive and free others. Who do you need to forgive this month, dear sister goddess? Okay. Again, Queen of Sheba. Now, it says secrets revealed. I do think it could be some scandalous stuff going on this month. I really do. But one thing I will say, if you have the African Goddess Rising book, then you'll know that Queen of Sheba is connected to wisdom. So sometimes it's like the mysteries of the universe. So some of us might get more, spiritual downloads this month. It says, open your eyes. Secrets are being revealed. It's safe for you to see the truth. Your inner vision is crystal clear. Allow yourself to be guided. Choose your own path. I am connected to the divine. So, yeah. Woo! It's just interesting to see what's going to happen. But, yeah. I mean, I just have to be honest with you. I'm like, whoa, that's knowing the astrology. That's very, very powerful. Okay. Last card. I'm loving ending with this one. This is from my Moon Magic deck. It's called the Glimmering card. I really was so excited when I pulled this card. The key words for glimmering is unique, gifts, and loving. One of the most sparkling cards in the whole deck. Glimmering is all the magic of the Northern Lights manifesting in your life. And when I read that, I was like, wow, I went to bed the night that the Northern Lights were visible down here. But a lot of us just got exposed to the Northern Lights who don't get exposed to the Northern Lights. And I don't think it matters if you saw them or not. Maybe there's going to be something that we see manifest this month as a result of being exposed to those Northern Lights. So that's exciting. It's a card of hope, anticipation, and joyfulness. That's exciting. It might indicate that auditions, interviews, presentations, promotions, and graduations are on the cards. It represents an opportunity for you to show what you are made of and to demonstrate you can do that. Gemini is the kind of good energy for that. Cancer is like startup energy. So Cancer might go on ahead and do it. Cancer energy will make us be a little bit shy initially, but then it's kind of like, oh heck, I'm just gonna go for it, right? Um, you have a unique set of talents, skills, and abilities that you can draw upon to spread light into the world. I couldn't agree more with that. We can all do little things to make the world a kinder, happier place. So again, Sagittarius is these small little acts. So small acts of kindness. We can each play a part in fighting poverty, want, ignorance, bigotry, animal neglect, and so on. When the glimmering card shows up in a reading, it is suggesting that you find ways to share your own unique light with the world. I told you I was going to be active. This is not a laid back month. What can you do today that would ease the burden of another? I love that. What kindness can you afford to society or to the animal kingdom? How can you lessen the impact of poverty in your local area? Let's see here. What could you do? That's the question that is asking. So I think abundance as well as, you know, being big enough and open enough to share your gifts and talents. And it's done to help other people. Okay, last thing I'm gonna do. I said I would do this one live. Well, not live, but on camera. I have a new deck, Miracles Now by Gabrielle Bernstein. And the reason I bought this deck was I was like, it just seems like it's bad news every time we turn around. So I wanted to get something that I could pull from where I was like, okay, thank you for this inspiration. This one says, for the month of June, the key to getting what you want is to ask for it. The key to getting what you want is to ask for it. So I think this will be a lovely month. We need a little bit of a break. There'll be some other challenges that are happening. Be quite frank, down the path. So enjoy the lesser energy of this month, and yeah. So if you would please make sure you like the video. I would love it if you subscribe to my newsletter. I am working to create some new shares and just some new information that's going to support you on your path. Many of y'all have seen that I've started offering my Sacred Goddess Toolkits. Essentially, they are combining what I have coined hypnotherapy, excuse me, astro hypnotherapy. So it's combining astrology with hypnotherapy, along with other things. And it's all about healing or up leveling our energy. So you'll learn more about that as we continue to move forward. And I'm also going to be going live pretty soon about that new moon. I might just do a new moon um, live stream because I go live on Wednesday. So maybe I'll just do that new moon live stream on the 5th. So yeah, I'll put that in the newsletter so you'll have the link for that. But also hit the subscribe button. I appreciate you all. I'm working to grow my channel. I don't know. I gotta be more mindful. I'm not gonna say I don't know what's going on, but wow, I would appreciate you giving me a subscribe to help me grow the channel. And what that does is it helps me to get the word out, to grow the community so that we're all here together as the beautiful goddesses that we are, healing and growing. So, thank you. Thank you so much. I wish you an amazing June. You and I will be connecting again soon. All right. Thank you. Peace.